Hey everyone, it's Jimmy Graham and Jason Cole, and you've reached us live on the, on the RC Groups podcast, YouTube, Hangout, you name it. Jason, I was an hour early today for the live Hangout.
Are you really? Well, hey, we should have just did a show, man.
Well, then I was like, I can't believe that I'm an hour ready. And I was like, I tried to, anyway, I did all these things, and then I looked up and it was like 1:58.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what happened.
Creeps up on you.
Yeah, it was this hat. I've been working the hat here.
Gotta get that bread. That's right, man.
Let's not talk about the Graupner stuff until we have a little time.
There you go.
I mean, we have a little live folks on.
I'm gonna give you a tip about your hat.
Yeah.
All right, you get like one of those mugs. Make sure it's round on the inside, and you fit your hat inside that mug and let it sit for a day. And then
should I get it wet before I put it in there?
You know, you're molding the plastic thing, so the wetness really doesn't help. But yeah, that's what I usually do is when I get a new hat, I stick it in the mug for a day and it's good to go.
Now, when you were in high school, did people call making out or kissing a girl mugging?
Mugging?
Yeah, in my high school, that was called mugging. I guess maybe because your face is a mug.
We called it getting jiggy with it.
No, you did.
No,
did you?
No, I don't know.
We aren't the same age, and I am from a whole different area, but we called it mugging back in the day.
Mugging, yeah, that's a new one to me.
And then if you were really mugging, you'd be mugging out.
Uh-oh. Brian Chambers says FMS has got a really big glider. I'm in. I'm all about that. Send me a link.
Yeah, send us a link and we'll talk about it. Okay, so we're just warming in here for everyone. We're getting the studio all warmed up. I literally put a heater on in the other room. That was actually, I guess, what took a little of my time up was trying to figure out how to turn on the heaters without melting the wall outlets this year.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it happened last year. Hey, if I have an echo, let me know. I'm wearing some headphones that aren't really, they port into my ears and not on top of my ears. And so I think that could have been the echo from last time. I'm now going to the YouTube RC Groups in it, and the name of that is RCG Videos. I didn't get this name. This was a Jim Burke purchase many years ago. And I'm going to go to my channel, to the RCG Video channel. And by doing so, I will see a window that says the RC Groups Hangout is live now. And I'm going to click the live now button, hit the pause.
It's live unless you're listening to it later.
Yeah.
Then we're not live.
Hopefully we'll still be alive, but not the same kind of.
You know, when we do pass away, these will still be here.
Yeah.
To represent us moving forward for all eternity.
You know, I was thinking yesterday, there were all these questions I had after my dad died, like just random family questions. And so I've been thinking, yesterday, that I would take my daughter and make her ride around with me in my truck. And I was just going to tell her everything she should know about the Graham family.
You should write her a book, man.
See, I won't do it, but I can't.
We've progressed past the era of verbal history taking.
Maybe I should do it.
Actually put it down in written word.
Maybe we go past that and I do a YouTube channel.
There you go.
It's called Everything I Should Tell My Daughter. And it's just, she can access it in the future.
That's even better. It's always there digitally.
Yeah. And then she could look at me and go, wow, Dad looks so young.
Yeah.
Look, he can be coherent on these videos. It's amazing. Hey, I want to say hey to Mark Dibble, Brian Chambers, and Jack the Ripper. That's an interesting name.
Ripper. Hey, we caught him.
Yeah. Hey, so you know what? I think we will start out. First, I want to say that today Jason and I did something. We went to the airfield, and it's the first airfield trip of the season that we both were cold enough to be ready to go home, I think.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we looked at the forecast. I was like, I got some videos I got to do. It's like 50 degrees and a little windy, but it's the best day like within the next week. So
it's going to be raining.
Like, okay, let's get it done. So it was chilly, and you can tell it wasn't a great day to be at the field because we were the only people there.
Whenever we go to the field, everybody's there. So there's oh my gosh, I'm not going to get his name wrong again. I was calling him Danny, but his name is Donnie. There's Donnie with the 68 Chevy pickup truck, and there's Bob, who was a full-scale pilot in the Navy and flew big birds. And so all these people are sitting around. It's always a social thing, but not today, man. It was just me and Jason in the wind.
And the dog walkers.
Yeah, that one lady, right?
Never too cold to walk your dog.
And then the dog park across the street, there were people over there too.
Oh yeah, wearing
So
it out.
while the live viewers are still coming in, I'll say that I did go to court a few days ago, and it was very, very interesting. If you've ever watched Better Call Saul, that was the courtroom I was in. This was a courtroom full of people who were not like huge criminals, but maybe had 2 drinks and rode their car into the ditch, that type of thing. Except my case was not normal. The DA came down from upstairs, and expensive lawyers were everywhere. And people kept saying, I don't know what's going on here. So it was very interesting. And I got to go on the witness stand. I told Jason, no, I told him, damn it, I'm really getting confused on what I tell you and my wife now, Jason. I had my hat. Yeah. I had my hat, and I was all dressed up. I was in my Sunday best, and they wouldn't let us go in the courtroom until it was time to talk, and then we had to leave the courtroom because we couldn't listen what the others were saying. Wow. So the cop walks me in the courtroom, and I'm wearing my cowboy Sunday best, and I've got my hat in my hand. This is how I carry my hat officially, and I stroll up to the thing, and I put my hat down, and then I raise my hand and swear to tell the whole truth. And then I kind of gave a reenactment of that video that I made on Facebook. Yeah. And then he hit my concrete chicken. I figured out they brought me on the stand to say that my kids were in the yard prior to him plowing through the exact place where 5 kids stood. That's why they wanted me in court. And so here's the interesting thing is I said on the stand just 6 minutes earlier, my kids were there. And the lawyer or the guy who drove through my yard said, in your statement, you said 8 to 10 minutes. And I was like, wow, man, these people were like literally wrote exactly what I said down. And now it's a talking point.
Got to see if your story changes, man.
Yeah. So I averaged it. I said, let's call it 6 to 8. And at the end of the story, there's a lot more to the story, but he said, sir, how do you know the comings and goings of your children? And I said, take 5 12-year-old boys and run them through my house, and everyone in the neighborhood will know that they just came in. And he laughed and left me alone.
Crazy.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with this is the kind of thing where we have something and then we keep showing it off, and then we fly it and we talk about that, and then we do the review and we talk about that. So prepare for some saturation of the Graupner drone sweeper, or the sweeper drone ball.
Sweeper drone ball.
Let's go to live chat to see what everybody says about this damn thing.
I didn't know what to think of it. And then you pulled it out of your truck this morning, and I was like, it is massive. Look at there. It's got lights. Ooh.
So the build was, you figured out where the middle was. So basically, Jason was going to show you what it looked like before, but he got overzealous.
Well, here's what it looks like before. It looks like a box.
Right.
I don't know, upside down, right side up. There you go.
And so the cage is it's like groups of 4 of these little white things, and they're held together with little, what look to be CF tubes, and then you zip tie them.
Little carbon fiber rods and zip ties. Yep.
Yeah. But it's not as, at first I thought, oh, this will be too firm, but it's kind of moderately squeezy, not very much, but it enough bounces, to take a hit.
Man. It's got some spring to it. It'll bounce. It's flexible. I've bounced it off like my coffee table and dropped it and bounced it right up and kept flying. Rolled it down the stairs already.
Wait, you already flew it?
I've already flown this thing, man. I can fly it right now.
Okay, well, we have a live question where hopefully it works better than the ones in the past. So Jason, I brought it to the field. I literally had just put the cage on it, and then I had to go meet Jason to shoot videos, so it wasn't ready to fly, but I wanted him to see it. And he said, man, I wonder how it's going to fly with all that weight, because I've taken quads and tried to fly light fishing line. Well, it was more like thread, I guess. More like, not thread, more like string into a tree to hang a cable. And I smoked 2 packs with the added weight of that string. So Jason, how did it fly?
A day? Well, check it out, man. So let's see here. I will tilt my thing down. Oh, there it is. You can see it. So basically you press a button to turn it on, just to arm the motors. It's pretty loud. It's got a high-pitched hum to it, but
wow, it looks authoritative. Fly to your head. Nice. You're having surgery anyway.
There you go. It's pretty dang loud, but Man,
So you're impressed?
I'm, so when I first heard about that these were coming, I didn't really know what to think. I was like, okay, it's different, right? It's like they're trying to go for a game, like whatever. And then you pull it out of your truck, and I was like, that's a lot bigger than I expected. This is like like a 250 size quad inside. I expected it to be like a little micro deal, but it's bigger than a soccer ball. And then I flew it, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a lot of fun because you could just get crazy with it. You can hit things. Now, you do want to be careful. I know we talked about like hitting in our faces and stuff. There is room.
You could get your nose right in there.
Get your nose in there. You can get your hand in there to still get the prop. So it's not like complete 100% protection. But if you're careful and, you do it properly, I probably wouldn't even hit it straight on. I might underneath or at the top. Just stay away from the props. But you run in the walls. You can bounce it off the floor. It's all auto level. There's 3 different rates. But and maybe we can get into the flight board and figure it out, but there's no manual mode, which makes it easy to fly for anybody. I get why it's there, but if you could go to manual mode, I think it would be really fun to use the thrust and like roll it. Like you could get on the ground, right. Roll it, take off, fly around, roll it. But it won't let you do that. It'll go to an angle that's its stopping point.
John Matos says he's a beginner. This might not be a bad idea for you, John. It's a little pricey at $349.90, but it comes with a transmitter, a charger, and a battery. So everything you need would be in there, and it would be hard to wreck this thing because it's encased in plastic.
I love the LEDs. It's just so different. I think it's what I like about it so far. We'll have to see when we get it out there together. Hopefully we'll go next week. And we'll play some games. We'll try to score some goals and fly through stuff and run into each other's drones and just see what happens. So it'll be fun.
Oh, someone's calling. Let's see who it is.
Spirit is missing a letter. I know what letter you mean.
Yeah, I don't answer the phone anymore. It's always spammers. Yeah, so Jason's wearing his RTM shirt.
I always read the manual.
Read the manual.
Got to read the manual. I actually read the manual for the drone ball here before I put it together.
People Shadow, I asked the exact same thing. Do they have an FPV option for that? And there is going to be an FPV option, but he said that everyone who tried to play, let's say soccer or basketball or whatever with these things via FPV found that it didn't work, that everyone liked it better from line of sight.
Right. Yeah, there is a little mount right there on the front that I'm assuming is where you would put a camera. Now there is something that says record and talks about a camera in the thing. So maybe they have a recording camera. That might be fun to record, first person video footage of the event or whatever. But you get, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 of these things out in a area, in a gym. You can try to take the net off of a basketball goal. You can try to like fly through it, play Quidditch or something. I don't know. There's like, be creative and see what you can come up with. But it's pretty fun.
They come with red props, and then I told Jason I went red, so he went white on his. I don't know how big a difference it'll make, but also I was reading in the manual that you can control the color of your LEDs.
Yeah,
so you can make one ball one color and the other ball another color.
Basically, only thing you're controlling, it's white in the front, red in the back. The only colors you can control are the sides, so you can change the sides from like blue to green or white or red or whatever. So
it was it you charged the battery, hooked it up, and it was a simple plug and play? Everything was bound and ready to go?
Yeah, I didn't charge their battery yet. I just used one that I had that was already charged. It's XT60 connectors on it, so nice and easy. But yeah, it was pre-bound. It's literally like plug it in, hit the button to arm the motors, and off you go. So
I took pictures of this, and it's kind of cool. It's still on mine. I was looking at the arms, and how can I do this here? If you look at the arm right there, you can see the red tag, and it has an arrow of the direction of the prop, and then the prop itself has the same red tag on it. So it's super simple to put the right prop.
Make sure you take those tags off before you fly, FYI.
I figured they'll fly off, right?
It's quite loud. I mean, it's a lot of air moving through a cagey thing. So it's like really quite noisy, at least in a confined space like this.
And then on the edges right here, there are tabs and there's slots in the tabs. And then the tabs live in the center of the ball. And then you zip tie them there. And it's really just a bunch of zip ties in a quad.
That's all it's holding it together, zip ties. The whole center section, the whole black airframe is all one piece in the box. Yeah. And then you zip tie it to the cage that you make with zip ties.
And so I'll have all that. I'll have the build for that in the review. I just took pictures of the build. Then I thought I might, when we get to the field, we'll talk about all that. I want to thank Manny for sending these to us. He sent us 2, as you of course can see. And Manny is a big supporter of RCGroups. And what else?
Brian, it's going to be really good for night flying. The lights are really bright and it's full 360-degree around it. So you can easily tell orientation, what it's doing. I think it'd be great. So that'd be fun to horse around with it at night too.
What I was saying to Jason, I don't know if this exists, is it would be cool. By the way, I brought my bag, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You have your bag handy?
I do, yeah.
I thought I brought it in here. But I thought it would be cool if there was some sort of material that would cover the ball that would let air, that would allow it to fly, but it would be lit up from the inside and be a solid object. That'd be pretty cool.
So it comes with this bag, and it's got room for batteries. It's got room for the transmitter. And it's kind of like a sort of a soccer ball bag.
I think when you fly and walk around with this, you should be dressed like a soccer player.
Yeah. Oh, it's got backpack, so you can put it on. I'll model it here. It's stuck around my elbow.
Your elbows are dry.
There we go. Oh, I'll have to loosen it up. Yeah, man. You got your drum ball backpack. Let's go play at the field, man. Let's go. I don't know.
Very
the whole
nice.
thing is just interesting. I need more space. Now I'm stuck. I guess I'm going to have to live like this for the rest of the podcast.
Well, we will be, what's up, Side Jones? We'll be hopefully flying these next week. I doubt that the rain's coming in tomorrow, so I doubt we'll be flying them today. But pretty exciting. And at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, this looks like a build, but it's not really. So don't think it is.
I think it'll be fun, man. 100%.
I think Truman's going to enjoy it. You know, Truman is still taking his quad elective class. So the thing that we have to do in the next day or so is he has to go as high as he can and shoot video in a circle. And I said, did he tell you that there's a 400-foot limit? And
right.
Like, no. And I said, well, he really should. So interesting.
Well, technically, there isn't a 400-foot limit yet.
Yes, right. It's all just available to them at this point. Okay, well, this is not the only thing we flew at the field, and you know I don't like to give it all away at once, but it is YouTube, and the I've been watching charts. The watch chart starts high and then degrades. So let's go straight into the next thing that you flew, Jason. We can talk about what it is, how it flew, 3-cell versus 4-cell, and how you feel it looks.
You guys have seen this before. It's the V900 from Horizon. It's all black on the bottom. A little bit of white tips.
Let me tell you something, my friends. As a guy who shot the video on this thing, unless you're the pilot and you look away, it's nothing but sound. All I saw most of the time was, but I never saw the thing. So
it has a great sound to it. I'll definitely be keeping that in for the video.
It sounded like you were shifting gears. Like when you throttle down and then when the prop rotates, it sounds like that thing from Star Wars. It goes. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, I mean it's a performance. I'd say it's a high performance airplane. There's obviously planes that go 200 miles an hour. This is more like 110 on 4 cells, but it's their foam. So it comes out of the box like this. You basically bolt the wing on, bolt the tail on. Pretty easy. Nice aluminum spinner comes with it. Comes with 2 props. I believe they're 8x8s or something. I can't really see it right now. I think they were 8x8s.
Jason, I have to interrupt you.
Yes.
First, I want to say thanks to our podcast Hangout sponsor, Hobby King at hobbyking.com. Also, I want to say if you buy the drone ball, you get this hat. I saw it on the site. This hat should come free. So that's it. Let's cut back to Jason Cole and the V900.
All right. So inside we've got the AS3X. It's the AR 636A. It's a receiver with the AS3X and Safe Select. in it. It's all done. Everything's built, ready to go. It's, you know, ready to just throw your battery in, bind it, and go fly. But so the battery area here, it's quite narrow and not extremely tall. So, you know, 3 or 4 cells will fit in there. You can run 1800 to 2200s. My 4-cell 1800 pulse batteries that I've got, it's kind of a get it in there, cram it, barely fits, but it does fit. 3-cell 2200s fit in there pretty good. But it's kind of a tight fit for batteries. Not too big of a deal, but just something to be aware of. And oh my gosh, on 4S, this thing is a beast.
But it's also very tame.
Yeah, it's so fast that all I want to do is go full throttle the whole flight. But when you do pull it back, you can go to a quarter throttle and it just cruises around like a little slow poke or something, man. It was so stable and easy to fly. Just a cruiser with AS3X, keeping it stable. Really nice. 3 cells was still fairly fast, just not crazy. You know, it's very manageable. I prefer 4S. I think a lot of guys are going to prefer 4S, but if you're more of a mild flyer and, you know, maybe don't have the reflexes or the eyesight to keep up with 110-mile-an-hour speed, then 3S still going to be a fun airplane. Very aerobatic. The roll rate's extremely axial. Handles really nicely. I actually had to take expo out of it. I put about 30% expo to start with, which is normally I go 25 to 30, and I needed it to be a little bit more sensitive, so I actually took it down to 10%. But these were my first 2-3 flights today. We'll do some more flying on it. Maybe we'll get it out next week too, and I'll have to take a look at the video, see if it's anything more than just a blur. Nick's asking about EF Extra. That's a good question. I'm probably going to bring that out to the field next week so I can fly them, you know, not at the same time, but one after the other and just get a feel for it. They're both really fast, so I'll just, you know, the EF Extra is supposed to be about 100. This says 110. So we'll see. I'll, you know, either one's going to be really fast and fun for you. But I don't know what else to say, really. It was just, I literally flew this for the first time just a couple hours ago. So I'm still kind of wrapping my mind around it, remembering the flights, and have to put that all in writing for the review at some point. So we'll get some more time on it.
Talk about how when you were doing your up lines and you cut throttle.
Yeah, I kept, that's in the video, I'm sure, but I kept like just laughing and cracking up. So I'd full throttle, come blasting around, pull vertical, and about a second of going vertical, I would just kill the throttle, and you'd hear that, but it would just keep climbing for like 6 seconds. It was amazing. I was just giggling. It was so fun. And then it'd flip over and come back down. But it was like the vertical climb out with no power, you know, after all that momentum, just carried it for so long and hundreds of feet up into the air. Just pretty cool. So I think they did a great job. I had no issues so far, but it's early on. We still got to put some time on her. And servos are holding up. So it's got a nice handhold. That's one thing I can say. The launches were a piece of cake. Normally on a plane, like a low-wing plane like this, I would do an underhand launch where I would kind of hold it. And those are fine too, but they give you a nice, easy-to-grip handhold right here. Righty or lefty, it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to launch it easily. About half throttle, just nice and straight out. It didn't dip or dive. There was nothing hairy or scary about it. Just easy peasy. Get it in the air. Go have some fun. So that's what it's all about. There you go. The V900.
And then it was pretty windy out there too.
It was pretty windy. Yeah, that's where AS3X really, you know, comes into play. It just makes it look like you're flying smooth, you know. So hopefully that translates in the video just fine.
I'm curious how that video turns out, because that plane's so little and fast, it would be like airplane, sky. And I guarantee 50% of the video is me going, I
would see Jim like facing this way, and then I'm going across, and he's not moving. I'm like, okay.
At one point, I was like, oh, there it is. But it was a jetliner. I was looking at it. I was like, that's not it.
Yes. That's awesome.
So, Jason, I want to share something with our friends and family here. You can help me.
Man, is that not crazy?
Well, tell me about it. I didn't read about it. I thought I'd save it for you to tell everybody.
Well, you know, this is something that's basically they're slope soaring an RC helicopter with no motor power. It's all pure auto gyro, and the wind it's in crazy wind, like they can barely stand up. But there's so much wind coming up the hill, and it's auto rotating the blades, giving them enough speed to provide lift and to be controllable with swash plate. So he actually is going to, they're kind of build up enough speed and energy in the blades, and he's going to throw it and then be able to fly around, move the tail. The tail's driven off of the main rotor.
Oh shoot! Watch out, bro.
Yeah, it looks heavy. And one thing I would say, don't try that at home. I would never be caught dead holding that, doing that right there. They're spinning, extremely fast enough to cause some major damage, even without the power of a motor behind it spinning it. Just the sheer inertia and momentum behind those blades at that speed is going to do some damage to you if it hits. So
break some fingers.
Yeah.
Maybe take an eye or two.
Well, this is kind of neat, on a technical level, to see how cool and powerful the wind is. Find another way to launch it if you're going to try it. But so look at that. So he's maintaining altitude. He's able to control it, steer it, fly it like a helicopter, but with zero power. It's the power of the slope, man. It's kind of why the slope is so alluring for a lot of people. Using that energy of Mother Nature, and fly for hours and hours and hours. As long as there's wind, you can play. So I just thought that was such a cool video, to see that actually happening, that I had to share it with people.
That's crazy. And you can find that right here on RCGroups. It's in the slope section. It's in the all RC section too. And well, Jason, we didn't even talk about this yet. Now, I don't want to run out of stuff to talk about for the whole show, but I think we might as well do what we can, because who knows what can happen between now and 3 o'clock.
There you go. We could lose internet.
So this is the cruising flight deck, RC work and CG stand. And Jason had it out today. We shot a video and photos.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to get yours out and I'll stop?
I got it right here.
Bingo.
So you can get a good size reference. And this is built in the USA. It's a small company just starting out, but they were building these for themselves and had enough feedback and people begging for them. So they decided to produce them and sell them. So it's called an RC flight deck. You can see it's a stand. So it's something like you would take like your V900 and you're able to place it on the stand and work on it, upside down, right side up. Allow you to do things without putting your models on the pavement or the ground or tearing up your stuff. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And I love this foam. Whatever they put on this cradle, it's called, I don't remember what it's called, EPDM, TBM, some kind of 4-letter acronym. But it's really grippy foam, and it just kind of contains your model and keeps it from rocking and rolling and moving around. So it's really nice and stable. They've got the same on the feet, so it's real grippy feet. So that it's not going to move around on you when you're using it. It's more than that, because it's got some holes here, so you can put a bungee cord. If you wanted to transport your model in your car, you can strap your model to it. It's got places to do that. Pretty cool. If you need more space, they've actually got a secondary mount. You can move the center dowel to the bottom. And these are solid maple dowels, just feel good, nice and smooth, really, really good quality looking stuff. It's all stainless hardware. The quality is just really nice. So that's just one thing that stands out. Now it is $85. So, you get what you pay for a lot of times, and this is really nice stuff. So you can kind of justify the price in the quality materials. But it's more than just a stand, right? So you get a little magnetic strip. So if you're building your airplane on this and you have some loose hardware, you can set it on there, and it's going to keep it from getting lost, which I think is brilliant, really neat. But you've got little sticks here. You might be wondering what they are. So you can pop these guys off, and then you've got holes in the center dowel crossbar, and you can put the little sticks in there, and then it becomes a CG testing machine. Now, you would obviously have this on the ground, so they're going to fall through. But you've got 3 inches up to like 16 inches. So you can space these apart, whatever, depending on whatever model you're going to be using to CG. It's got these same kind of little rubber deals on here, and These are great for heavier models because it's going to spread the load of the airplane on a bigger surface area, so it's going to keep from like poking a hole up through your wing or something. If you have smaller planes, you can just pull that right off, and there's a little rubber end cap on the edge as well. So if you need a little, more accurate CG measurement, or if your plane can withstand it, you can use that. But I just love options, man. So I just thought this was one of the coolest stands I've ever seen. I've never seen anything that integrates, the holder and the CG portion of all that together. This is kind of an industry first for me, and just like to help out a local, not really local to us, but a United States company that's designed and manufactured. Try to support cool things that I find on the internet. And this is one of those things. So I'll have a full review. We did the news article on RCGroups, but then I've got a review that should be coming out maybe tomorrow. I might be wrapped up by tomorrow. Comes out of the box, built just like this. You don't even have to do any work to it. It's just ready to use right out of the box. So cruise in, RC flight deck.
Check it out. CREWZINN.
Yeah. So I like it. I think it's great. I love neat accessory items for our hobby, and this is one of those. So good stuff.
Do you want some more of it?
I like it. I love it. And then you can use these on your drum pad when you're ready to drop some sweet beats.
Dude, more cowbell. Okay, Nick says we need to talk about the Delta Ray 1. And obviously this is a wing, but one photo I want to show you right off the bat is how little it apparently is. That's a tiny little bird right there.
This is a beginner plane, I believe, right? It's good for first timers.
Yes. I was looking for all the interesting things that it does, but yes, it's a beginner plane. It's fully assembled, has safe, beginner, intermediate, and experience, easily upgradable to safe, lightweight, durable, powerful, industry leading, no FAA registration required. Sign me up.
Is it really under the weight limit for whenever they do implement the registration back?
That's cool. Let's go to specs.
Yeah, it says weighs less than 250 grams. There you go.
Man,
how cool is that? 120 to 135 grams.
They always have a video. Where's the video?
They may not have one yet. They've been doing launches without video sometimes, and then it'll come later.
I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna go home.
But here's something brilliant. I think it's brilliant. So we all know beginners want like fighter jets or P-51s or planes that look cool, and beginner like trainer planes don't necessarily look cool. I think this looks pretty good. It's got some good graphics to it. It's kind of neat. But you get a delta wing shape with a pusher prop that's not going to break when you nose it in and crash. Put AS3X and Safe Select on there. So
be a good FPV plane.
Be a great FPV plane, probably micro. But I think it's going to be really, really good for beginners. It's just you're not going to be able to break it very easily. It's so light. There's not a lot of mass going down. And then with Safe, it's going to be really hard to crash, period. I mean, you can just let off the throttle, let off the sticks and let it fly itself and land as long as it doesn't fly into something.
We have beginner John Matos looking for something. I don't know if this is for your front yard or not, John, but this would be a great beginner airplane, $139.99, and that is the ready to fly.
Oh yeah, okay. So they do have a bind and fly too, right? For like 109.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easily up. Whoa! It's got GPS.
With quick and easy installation of the optional GPS unit, you can add next level autonomous guidance features that make it even easier to fly. In fact, it would be like almost not flying at all.
Oh, they've got built-in, I bet it's good for, they're talking about FPV right there too. I wonder if they have provisions where you can easily do that. That's starting to look pretty cool, man. The auto land, the holding pattern, virtual fence. I mean, this is some cool technology coming to beginner planes that we wish we only had back in the day, right?
Yeah. And that's a great price. Anybody can do that. And this airplane will live a long life, I think,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to destroy, easy to repair, just cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. Have we talked about everything that we flew today, Jason?
We sure did, man.
Hey, everyone. While we're looking at the RC Group site, I've been working with the marketing people at Hobby King on this Hobby King sale, and it's going on all month long. I'm was talking to them today about doing another feature story on whatever is coming up in the month. And so you can see it on their main banner, which is all over the site now, and go check it out. We also have a feature on this you can go check out. And what's on the front page that you find interesting, Jason?
Well, I like the Paraglider at the top. I like the new Tiny Hawk.
So these paragliders, my friends, are not cheap. Like a mid-size 1.2 paraglider, fully loaded, ready to rock in this configuration, it's like over $1,000.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but this is serious quality. I mean, you go buy a new paraglider wing, you're spending $3,000-$4,000, you know, on a full size one, and these aren't that far off. It's the same exact materials and technology and skill involved to create, design, and make it. So I get it. But this thing's kind of cool. So I'm, you know, this is making me kind of desire one pretty badly. I love the camo kind of color scheme that they put on these now.
Well, what's the difference in this and the one that are the ones that you already have?
So there's, without going into like too crazy of technical stuff, there's essentially 3 different styles of paraglider wings in the RC world. There's single skin, which is like your beginner stuff. They're still aerobatic and a lot of fun. Then you got hybrids that have partial single skin and then partial double skin with cells. And then you have full, complete, you know, I don't know what you call it, but full celled wings. And that's what this one is. So this one has 44 individual cells as the wing goes out, and that fills up with air and creates pressure and kind of gives it the shape and everything of when it's flying and gets air underneath it.
This guy needs to use the zoom lens a little.
Yeah, zoom it out. So kind of what the deal is the single skin wings are super easy to launch. The hybrid ones are still easy to launch, but have a little bit better performance. And then the full celled wings have a lot better performance, but were harder to launch, except for this one. So this one looks incredibly easy to launch in the video. It just takes a couple steps and off it goes. It inflates really well and is ready to fly, you know, and just instantly. So right there, I mean, you can see how easy that was. So that's pretty unusual for this type of a wing. So they've really done some crazy engineering design, whatever, to make that happen. And it makes it really exciting because it's easy, but then you also have full-size glider performance with speed and aerobatics and just thermaling capabilities of it. So it makes it a really interesting wing for me.
Is there a chance of losing this thing, get it too high, get into some sort of current and not be able to get it back? Or
possible, but you can do like spirals and helicopters and stall the wing, and you can, yeah, pretty easily get it down from an aggressive thermal if you needed to.
Gotcha.
So Nick says, can it lift me? Almost, buddy. Maybe double the size of that, and then you're golden.
Well, it's a 10D, so it's pretty big. All right. And then the other thing we're going to look at is little. This might be good for John in the live chat. These things now, I've got a, who makes this, Emax? I don't own an Emax, but I do have a quad like this, and it's one of my favorites for the front backyard.
Yeah. So if you're a quad guy, you've probably heard of the Baby Hawk R and stuff, but this is a new version from Emax called the Tiny Hawk. It's a completely kind of redesign. It's got the motors facing down. It's got the full cage support. It's an indoor brushless micro drone. I mean, you can fly it outdoors too, but it's made to really rip. It's kind of taken the Tiny Whip stuff to the next level. Much better performance, more speed, just everything that you're looking for if you want to push the limits on indoor racing and playing around. It does only do what is it, free sky? So it's not like you combine it to a Spectrum radio or something if that's what you use. So it's kind of the only downside is they're using, you know, the kind of open source radio stuff. You know, it's, some people would say this is better than like the brushless Inductrix from Horizon. You get more options. You get a, you know, the next level advanced flight controller. So this is kind of what's coming out of China is kind of utilizing the latest performance technology and boards and all that stuff and giving you what you want, but you got to use the right radio system to make it work.
You know, it'd be awesome is if they flew it.
There might be flying in one of those videos. I don't know.
Let's go see. I'm a dog.
There's Max, the German Shepherd. I used to have a dog named Max, a little German Shepherd when I was little.
Ooh, look at that. Goggles down.
Oh, while we're doing this, I would like to say big congratulations to Blake Sams, aka Nub, who we had on the podcast a couple weeks ago. And
what happened to him?
They just released the series championship of the DRL, and he took second place overall in the DRL World Championships. So,
after doing that interview, I thought about it quite a bit about how he's like, I don't date anybody, I don't go anywhere. I just work here and work on that. That's the only way I'll be successful.
Yep, and he went in as a rookie and just blew it out, man. Killed it. It was actually really fun to watch. So I watched the last few episodes of the DRL, and I really enjoyed it. Just like these guys. That's how they act when they win a race out there.
Bang bang. That wasn't me. That was them. All right, let's head back for some news. Congrats, Nub. Did you see this, Jason? I was once into off-road trucks, and I have totally tweaked out a couple of rock crawlers with aluminum parts. But this is interesting, a raw builder's kit. This is for the car builder. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is this axial?
Is it? It came out of Horizon. So it's from Horizon Hobby.
Kind of AXI.
Yeah, it's an axial. And I'm a big fan of axial rock crawlers. If you're looking for something that's a cool rock crawler, stays together and acts like it should, those axial trucks are great.
Yeah, this thing looks like a dream, like for a builder, man. You be able to just detail it out, scale it out.
Jason, did I hear that you're going to start selling flaming hoops? It's kind of a sideline that you're going to get into, and they're going to be pre-flaming when they're shipped out.
I got to figure out how to harness the smoke from the flames and then use that as, the intro to our videos where it's like blows through the props.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be efficient. I just really want to use that fire smoke, even though it's black. Somehow we can get white smoke out of it. We'll get a black to white translation machine and then make it turn into white smoke.
I think my wife just laughed at me. We said a couple of things last week when taken out of context were unsavory, and I got a PM message on RCGroups that said, you said this and Jason said this. Ha, 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 ha. So we got to watch our innuendos.
Innuendos.
There's that baby scimitar. Here's the magic cell. Here's a drone ball. Everything's out here. The Tucson Aerobatic Shootout went down. And if I didn't say it last week, a big thank you to Sukhoi Kid, who, check this out. He went to town, man. He uploaded live results. He had a live feed on YouTube that was porting through this channel.
That's awesome.
Photos. Yeah, look at all that good stuff. I don't feel like I gave him enough spotlight. And next year I'll work with him so that I can take his stories and turn them straight into stories. Oh, got baited with the sweeper drone thing too. L'Oreal. Does that mean you're going to order one, man?
Uh-oh.
If you did, tell them that Jim and Jason sent you.
If you get it in time for next week, you can fly to Nashville and fly with me and Jim, and we can have 3 of them in the video. That would be awesome.
But we do need a cameraman if 2 of us are going to be flying.
Yeah, we're going to have to work that out. We need that little, whatever that thing is called that tracks.
Yeah, well,
video subject, that doesn't really work.
I think McDougall bought that, and if it worked, we'd know. And I'm looking at our active users right now, 13,000, 18, let's call that 14,000 users. As it gets colder, this number will increase. And if you haven't, I look at this maybe once a day at a certain time. I'll go in just see where we're at. And then this is very interesting. The Forum Spy, if you haven't seen it, these are all the threads that are being posted to the site as we speak right now. It's like a ticker tape machine. It just keeps going. And I don't really look at that too much, but something I do look at is the user map. And that's interesting because you can see. Oh, good. Thought it was broken.
It is kind of not really working properly on the Google side, but we can
Well, you can still see where the majority of the people are coming from. So what's interesting is, of course, here's America where you think everyone's coming from, but look at Europe, man. I would say Europe is as busy as America.
Yeah, look, there's only like 7 people that fly in Australia.
Yeah, those guys. They all know Pete Goldsmith too.
Just kidding. Lil Pete.
So, did you hear from Pete after we talked about his thing at all? I don't think Pete actually gets on the internet.
Pete's been traveling and building kits. So I've been following him. He's been on a soaring event, like just free ride, man. Lately, he's going all over the place, flying sailplanes, spreading the love. So,
Jason, I want everyone to see something that I saw today and didn't understand what I was looking at. Can you get your DX9? This hat. I look like I'm going hunting.
Nice.
So I said, Jason, I was looking at his transmitter and I said, is that some sort of like
I said, no, man, this is patina.
Turn it sideways a little bit.
It's like the real deal. Looks like a Chevy truck. There you can see some of that maybe. It's definitely weathered. This is one of the original DX9s that came out. So it has been around the block at an event or 2 or 50.
And when you see it in person, it almost looks like a camouflage, but it almost also looks like some sort of gunmetal, some sort of faux aging, but it's not. It's real.
Yeah, it's really wild, but it's kind of like how some people think old trucks look bad, but then some people treasure that, would never paint over it.
Can you look at a transmitter? Like on my camera, I can see how many photos I shot. I wonder if you can look in a transmitter's firmware somewhere and see how many hours of flight you have on it.
That would be cool. I don't think that one does though, but who knows? It's gonna be beepies. The beepies.
This time change, man.
System settings. Mm-hmm.
And this is the most exciting part of the live broadcast.
What? Yeah, I'm not really finding anything. There may be something there, but yeah, we don't want to bore people with that. There you go.
All right.
I'd have to read the manual.
If you know how to do that, or if you know that it can happen, let us know. We'll check it out. All right. I've run out of topics.
I'm pretty tapped out, man.
You know what? We've almost hit the end of the hour.
Well, there you go. We did it.
Well, the first thing I want to say is keep your eye out for that Hobby King sale. Also, P.S. And by the way, I am working on a Black Friday mass email for Flying Giants and RCGroups. I already have companies signed on. If you are a company and you want to sign on, shoot me a PM. I'll give you all the information to be in on this mass email. So the RCGroups, I'll just go and tell you, I don't care. We have 136,000 plus people on the RCGroups mass email list. And these are verified. I actually went through and peel back emails that bounce and things like that. So that's a real number. Wait, hold on. It's 136,000 combined. So RCGroups is 106,000. And then I actually have 35,000 on Flying Giants. You know what? I'm working off memory. So just these are rough estimates. But so yeah, don't quote me because there's nothing in front of me. But we have a FG mass email going out and a Flying our RCGroups mass email. So check it out. The deals and steals and all the things you need to know about I'm going to combine Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So both of those will be on there for those companies. You can find out what's going on. Jason, do you have anything on your list for Black Friday you're going to buy?
I don't think so.
I don't think I'm going to buy any airplane stuff. I actually have to buy an external hard drive because my computer said, hello, you're about to run out of space. Plus, I haven't backed this computer up in about a year and a half. So probably
that's terrible.
Yeah.
We're going to have to work on that.
Yeah. Let's see if my cat. You want to hold on? I'm going to go get my cat.
Get your cat.
What's up, Gato?
Well, I wasn't really going to talk about this, but while Jim's getting a cat, maybe I can stall and not have to talk about it. There you go. He's back with the cat.
So this cat was a kitten not too long ago, but now it's gigantic and it's crazy. This cat is a nut. I have a video. Jason, did you see the video of this cat holding on to my dog's head while biting its lip?
Yeah.
It's stretching the dog's lip out with its teeth while it's
Oh
got
my
its
gosh.
paws around the. Yeah, so he has no fear, and he will slap you right in the face if he decides that it's needed.
Wow. All right, so I am going to talk about it. It'll just take just 2 minutes, but it's pretty official, and are just kind of waiting. I'm going to be traveling over Thanksgiving, and I'm going to go to this location, and we're going to fly there, and I'm going to take pictures and video, and we're going to write a story about how it all came together. But if you guys remember, who's been listening to us for a long time, the slope where I learned how to fly airplanes 18 years ago, whatever it was on federal property off the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, and it had gotten shut down when they started regulating flying at parks, federal property. And the AMA said that they could work with the club and get a waiver and do all this stuff. And that was all way back at the first of the year. So January, we formed the club. And I can't remember which guy at the AMA, but the AMA has actually come through, did what they said they were going to do, worked with them. They actually got the information, got the waiver, all that stuff's finally approved and done, and we're allowed to fly there now. So I'm going to be doing a full article on that whole, whatever they went through process, cover it, and then show you what the field looks like. And I'm going to go fly where I learned how to fly. Which is going to be a lot of fun. That's going to happen over Thanksgiving. So in a couple of weeks, I will be there. I'm really looking forward to it. So
that is awesome to hear something positive happening in the hobby in the midst of all this other stuff that's going on.
So true. Yeah. Awesome stuff.
So you know what? Nick was looking at our stats, and I have been remiss. I do look at it and think, oh, when that milestone hits, I'm going to make a post. We are at 40 million posts, which I should make a post about because we just clicked over on that. And total attachments is 9,996. So we're about to click over 10 million attachments. And
crazy. That's a lot of stuff.
Those are kind of our numbers. My question is, how long will it take to click over to 10 million? Because maybe I should do the 40 million posts and 10 million attachments. The member number is not as important to me because members come and members go. So the real question is, how real is that number? And really, to me, my numbers are about how many people show up to the site each month, and that's like 1.2 million people, uniques. So there's all kinds of stats I keep an eye on, but uploads and posts are something you can't argue with. That's real
awesome.
deal.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to upload probably 30,000 pictures of the cruise-in flight deck stand for the review. So that's going to push us over.
Awesome.
It won't be that many.
Well, that's big news. So we look forward to that story about that being opened up. And thanks to the AMA for making that happen. And the weather's coming, man. I think that I have an airplane coming from Horizon, that little bite. Maybe. I don't know. But I know that the longer we wait, the colder it's going to be.
Yeah, I was about to say, after being out there today and being really cold, I was like, this is getting close to shutting it down for the winter.
It certainly wouldn't be fun to do it any colder than 55 with the wind. My hands were getting cold from holding the camera.
Yeah, I usually play football Saturday mornings with some guys at Lipscomb University, and they always send a text out. Are you going to play football this Saturday? And sometimes I'm traveling or whatever. And I'm like, I looked at the forecast. It was like 43 is the high for the day. And I was like, no, man, it's too cold for me. I was like, anything under 50, I'm out. Just don't want to
call you an old man.
Yeah, I'm the old man. Pretty much.
I'm sure the guys up north are just making fun of us mercilessly.
Oh, yeah. I don't care. I don't care. I like what I like.
Well, Jason, I think that wraps it up for the week. Hey, I want to thank all of our live viewers for hanging out. Be sure to spread the word and tell your friends that they need to be live and subscribed and join the RCG video channel. And we sure appreciate y'all. We want to thank our podcast sponsor, Hobby King at hobbyking.com. And I'm Jim T. Graham, and I believe you're Jason Cole.
I am.
RTM, y'all.
RTM.
RTM.
That's how you do it.
All right. If we need one with an extra letter, let me know and I'll whip that shirt right up for you. All right, y'all. Simmer down now. We'll talk to you later. We got RC business to attend to.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Bye-bye.